Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our UJK Media Roundtable, our weekly platform where we collect all the top journalists to come and dissect stories that have been making headlines throughout the week. My name is Ukash International, and I'm your host. As usual, we'll have 10 seconds of a preamble from these top journalists. I made this introducing themselves, and then we can, so that we can start tapping on our menu. And on our menu tonight, we have the sad news, or this story that came in as sad news, where a lay leader, I called him clergyman, but gentlemen say he's a lay leader after confirmation, who's serving KYAGULANYI'S Church of Uganda. He was shot dead by UPDF officers after being stopped on his border carrying his wife on their way to the farm. What are the lessons learned? That's our first topic of the day. And secondly, we'll talk about Kyagulanyi, A.K.A. BOBI Wine. He's an MP of Chadondo East, aspiring president. He's in a bid to rally with all other political parties so that they can unseat President Museveni. We want to look at its possibility. Thanks so much. You're welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'll give 10 seconds of a preamble to these top journalists to have the introduction part so that we can move on with our menu. I'll start with my extreme left, the man in the coat, always.
Thank you very much, the ED. Vision TV. My name is Tuyamsi Magribat. Dear viewers, you're welcome. But unlike his introduction, he says top journalist. I call myself top teacher, subjects of economics and history. And today I'm happy I'm talking about history concerning the affairs in my society. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gilbert, the only lady on the table. No, she's not the only lady. By the way, I didn't tip that in my introduction, that we'll have also on board feedback from our viewers. All the feedback will be viewed down on the screen, and majority of them will be read out loud here with herself, the queen herself, Masika Doreen. Thank you so much for being part of the show. We can move on. Yes, Jolie.
Then if Doreen is the queen and I'm the princess. Well, my name is Jolie. I'm happy to be hosted here.
Thanks so much, Jolie. And on my right side, I have our senior journalist. His name is Ali. He'll introduce himself more in 10 seconds with a preamble, tipping something that you may want to say before we start on our menu, because strictly when we start on our issues, we'll be moving on.
Yes, good evening, viewers. I'm Alex Mderwa, a local based journalist. Welcome to our show.
Once more to the show. To start with is the shooting of a lay leader of KYAGULANYI'S Church of Uganda in Kasese, who was shot dead along Pondwe Road, where Midis riding his wife to the garden. This guy was shot. Was sad news because he was asked to stop. According to narrations I've gotten from the eyewitnesses, he stopped. On stopping, he was shot. What are the lessons learned? Are these the COVID, or these are the stories we speak about after the COVID lockdowns and sorts? I'll open up with Mr. Ali.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Ukash. As you said, it is a tragedy really, because the UPDF and other security agencies, they're supposed to protect Ugandans, their lives and their properties, but now it is very unfortunate that they are turning guns against the population. So, Benon Museveni, as you said, was a clergyman, was a lay leader for the KYAGULANYI'S Church of Uganda, and the reliable sources say he was supposed to be ordained sometime in December. It's a very big blow. In November. It is a very big blow to the South Rwenzori Diocese and the Church of Uganda at large.
Being laid out of court, but we don't know where the issue ended. And now who knows where this case will also end. That brings us to an issue of responsibility as family members. Sometimes when we talk of following up cases, we don't mean being so harsh to government, but we mean, fighting for your rights. If this person was killed, let us see justice prevail.
Yeah,
yes.
That's the issue.
And the other killing, the killing I'm talking about, still the UPDF called it a mistake. The same incident has also been termed as a mistake. How many mistakes are we going to take as simple matters?
Because Mr. Ali here and Gilbert are English specialists.
But there's something very
and the
different.
Englishmen say when you do something for the first time, it's regarded a mistake. For the second time, well, perhaps could be a coincidence. But for the third time, it becomes a habit.
All right, now. Let us
So
also
are we
look
going
at-
to a stage of becoming a habit for security people too?
We don't want that to happen. But let's look at what we call a trigger. Something that could be either small or big that caused or that started the incident. What was the trigger?
Yeah.
I want to think that the trigger could have been that this man was carrying.
They are moving together with
they
their
were
wife on
moving
the
together
same
with-
bike.
Yes.
Contrary with the lockdown rules, regulations.
So this calls us also.
But that does not.
And extended to the family for the loss of the breadwinner. But then you are asking me what lessons do we gain from the experience? Like the current speakers say, history is repeating itself. Now that this is not the first time, the second time, the third time, history is repeating itself. What would we do when these things happen? It looks to be the same game. We are icing the cake. The family has been befallen such a calamity, and we are expecting the same family to play its own trumpet, go to the courts to do what? Ladies and gentlemen, we are still thinking about how the family members have lost the breadwinner. Now it would be we, the society, to condemn the action. And what do? We say, the spokesperson has said they are sorry. Perhaps, I think we need to do something as Africans, as Ugandans, as the government claims that we should have the spirit of patriotism, the spirit of Pan-Africanism. When something is occurring onto Africans, then we should own it. Such a mistakes would have been ended long ago if we would come out, all of us, as a team, as a group of people,
Now-
as a society.
Now that Mr. Ali narrates and says this has happened 8 times and we have lost close to 8 people via this lockdown, do you think there are still mistakes? In good English, do they really stand a chance to still be called mistakes?
But Ukash, mistakes are done either by government or us ourselves.
Sure, yeah.
As citizens. That's why I said, can we all be good citizens that will obey? The
So if you
directives?
disobey, you deserve death?
No. That's not my point.
Yeah.
I told you about the trigger. Then, for now, I will say maybe.
Well, what triggered is
if
the
he
clergyman,
had-
or a lay leader rather, as you may call, was trying to smuggle his wife on a border to their garden.
Have you said
Well, that was a
smuggle?
mistake.
Have
They are
you said
smuggling.
smuggle?
Smuggling.
Now,
And
that
its
is-
reprimand, according to the president, is arrest them. Do not shoot them dead. Arrest them.
Okay.
So that's the reprimand. So much as he was smuggling, well, he was doing a mistake or he was in a wrong, but 2 wrongs don't make 1 right. And it was so harsh to take his life
Right.
for just smuggling someone. One day,
I
wife on a
agree
border
with
boat.
that, Ukash. What I don't want you to instill in the people is that we should let them move without actually observing these directives.
Okay, thank you so much.
Let's take them
Gilbert,
serious.
20 seconds, you sum this up. We are going to our next topic, and before we go to our next topic, ladies and gentlemen, remember we are shooting live from Cafe Olimako, the only place in town where you can have fast food, better snacks, ranging from pizzas, sandwiches, chips, chicken, the best African tea in town, the best cheese, ice cream, all at Cafe Olimako. And of course, later on, after Gilbert sums it up, we'll have the queen herself, Masika Doreen, to give us feedback from all our social media platforms, especially the YouTube comment section. Mr. Gilbert, 20 seconds before Doreen comes in.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Now, what I'm saying is that the purpose of such a law enforcing organs is to guide the society, aware that the society is not going to be an island. That's why you are aware that they are going to make mistakes, they are going to make crimes, but I'm going to put on strategies to ensure they don't make such errors again. And now if your solution is to eliminate whoever will make a mistake, you will remain an enforcer with no person you are ruling. At the end of the day, it goes back at you. Why did you issue laws? Laws are not supposed to eliminate the society, but to guide the society. If he is smuggling himself, like the thing is true, then was the solution true?
The law should be enforced rather than eliminating the people, or you're supposed to enforce, or the citizens. That's what Mr. Gilbert concludes with, or that's what the point. That's the point Mr. Gilbert is making. Ladies and gentlemen, unlike other segments, like we promised you earlier on, the Queen herself will come in with all our social media comments.
He's talking about the masks. Kambale, we promise next time we shall be on point. We shall work on that. Thank you so much, Kambale. Wera Online TV says this is a very nice version. Thank you so much. Kumra Events Uganda says, I love what K-Vision is doing. We are so humbled. Kumra Events, thank you so much. We have Swale Tamim. Swale Tamim says, new K-Vision logo is on point. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that feedback. Mate Eno says, great darling, you're doing it great. Oh, so much. Thank you so much.
So who is the darling now?
Enos, the K-Vision team is the
or?
darling. The K-Vision team. Milan Adido says, good work. Thank you so much, guys. Keep the comments coming in. We are K-Vision
By the way, there's someone
TV.
in the comment section who said offered to buy us masks. Said for the whole team.
For the whole team. That is Ache Pendo Kambale.
He says on Friday we should pick the money for the masks of the whole
We
team.
shall be at the
Can I
district offices
speak
on
out
Friday.
my comments here, my social media comments
Before she
from
leaves,
here.
yeah.
Before she leaves. Yeah, I love this coffee.
And this is where we are. It's Cafe Oli Mako for the best coffee, snacks to the food. Everything here is just so classy and very on point. So some on a previous post, I'm going to read only 2 comments. This one is Bahati Junior 14. He says, great, thank you so much. Safi Baluku says, now this is what they call a political. Thank you so much. We shall actually answer that. We shall be getting back to you very soon. Still find us on Facebook at K-Vision, and you can follow me personally at Masika Doreen on Instagram. I'm Doreen Masika3 on Twitter. Then I'm Masika Doreen on Facebook. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys.
Thanks for the social media updates. The Queen herself, Masika Doreen, the Rebelated. I love the way you're following up. You're really a social media holic. And off we go to our second topic, Kyagulanyi. Doreen, we'll start with you. 20 seconds before you leave.
Yes.
Kyagulanyi, A.K.A. Bobi Wine, a presidential candidate, is in a bid to rally with all other political parties so that they can strongly manage to unseat President Museveni. Do you think this strategy will work for him as a person? Your opinion?
To some extent, it could work for him, but to a very large extent, I don't think it will work. Thank you.
Thank you,
I will
Doreen.
keep you posted. Keep commenting on YouTube, on Facebook, and I'll be there to get to your comments. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you so much, Doreen. It's been really nice to have you part. And of course, our second topic, this is where I want to start with Mr. Ali. Mr. Ali, in 2011, we had the IPC, the Inter-Party Cooperation. But still, I think DP did not participate in the Inter-Party Cooperation. In 2016, we had TDA, the Democratic Alliance, something of the kind. It caught fire, like Jolly said, but still we had UPC and FDC get out of the alliance, where UPC decided to dissolve itself into NRM, and then FDC decided to go sole and leave alone, or they quashed the ideology of the TDA, or the Democratic Alliance. So here we come, 2016. Aren't there malls also? Will Kyagulanyi manage to rally all political parties behind him and front him as a presidential candidate, according to understanding? And shall we not see what has happened previously, as in other parties deciding to go sole than getting into a coalition? You're welcome, Mr. Ali.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Ukash, the host. Now, Kyagulanyi, also known as Bobi Wine, is the new kid on the political bloc in Uganda. And his idea is good because unless the opposition is unite, I think their chances of unseating the president are a bit slim. But remember, it's not the first time that we are having an alliance of opposition parties in Uganda. If we go back in the 60s, when DP took over power in 1961, it took the alliance of DP, of UPC and KY, that is KYAGULANYI'S, to unseat the DP. They succeeded at that time. But we are seeing the subsequent alliances that came up, they couldn't succeed. In 1996, there was the Inter-Party Cooperation, which was an amalgamation of DP and UPC. The DP led by Semogerere and UPC by Cecilia Ogwal. They engaged the president. I remember by then it was Semogerere, Kibirige Mayanja and Museveni. But still Museveni beat them. Come 2001, basically with his reform agenda, raided all the opposition guys. You remember by then Haji Sebagala was still popular in Kampala. He coined a slogan, Haji Alagide, Mukome Besigye, but still Besigye couldn't make it. Now, fast forward, in 2016, Amama Mbabazi, after falling out with his long-time friend, the president, he came up with an alliance called the Democratic Alliance. But still, the problem we have in Uganda is that most of the opposition leaders, they have personal interests ahead of possibly national interests.
They agreed.
Yes, we see Amama Mbabazi coming up with an alliance, but Besigye says, I must be the flag bearer. Amama Mbabazi insists that I must also be the flag bearer. At the end of the day, the alliance collapses. So, with the Bobi Wine, I'm seeing the same issues coming up. Do you think Besigye can agree Bobi Wine to be the flag bearer and the rallies behind him? We are seeing Mao has already disowned the alliance. But also to note is that these parties, they have their internal conflicts. DP itself, there is the DP
Good
Mao,
DP and bad DP.
there is the DP Mao and the Lukwago DP, the Nambozis. In UPC, but Besigye says, I must be the flag bearer. Amama Mbabazi insists that I must also be the flag bearer. At the end of the day, the alliance collapses. So, with the Bobi Wine, I'm seeing the same issues coming up. Do you think Besigye can agree Bobi Wine to be the flag bearer and the rallies behind him? We are seeing Mao has already disowned the alliance. But also to note is that these parties, they have their internal conflicts. DP itself, there is the DP
Good
Mao,
DP and bad DP.
there is the DP Mao and the Lukwago DP, the Nambozis. In UPC, there is the...
And to give you the best description they used to give to themselves, there's DP watermelon, one that is green and red inside, and there's DP
when we talk about unseating His Excellency, the President of Uganda, Yoweri Museveni, and you think you are going to use an election where oppositions have put all their eggs in one basket, then you are finished. His Excellency will be on the advantage now. He has one bullet to kill all the parties. Are you getting the point? So to me, is that when you look at the history of our coalitions, they have not been successful. Even the one we are talking about, KYAGULANYI'S, what happened after the elections, where the election were successful, but it was the aim to fulfill. The aims were not fulfilled still. They had to quarrel and fight even post-elections. And therefore the fruits of the coalition were not realized. Now when you come to all these subsequent ones, still the same story. They have been intubated halfway. At the end of the day, you don't see the chicks. So what I can advise the political parties of the country is that by the time you said, I am creating FDC, you had a manifesto and the constitution of the party. You have the objectives why you come to make such a party. UPC the same story, DP the same story, JEMA the same story. By the time you say you are making a coalition, are you dumping your constitution, or you have discovered that all your constitutions are the same?
Maybe you're merging your you're merging your ideology, all of you, and coming to a common ground. You see, in all the parties, they have many things in their likes. They will tell you democracy. FDC will talk about democracy. DP will talk about democracy. Alliance for Transformation will talk about democracy. You find that they have common goals.
To me, those ones you are speaking are on the mouth, but we normally take the inner meaning of the concept. FDC, Forum for Democratic Change. They are all about a what? A change. If you talk about UPC, Uganda People's Congress, it is all about congregating. Congress means the meeting. So they want to meet. NRM, National Resistance Movement, and they are resisting in their movement. So if you say you are colliding so that you fight a common enemy, then it is one way of giving a softer pass the other man will give you. And I want to tell you that this time it is coming courtesy of Bobi Wine. Bobi Wine is observing that if he must participate in the general elections, he must have a political party behind his back. He doesn't have one. And if he is going into FDC, then FDC is he ready to surrender the ghost? Meaning that he must convince other parties in that caucus to show that indeed all of us, DP, Anti, JEMA, CP, Farmers Party, all of them that they are rallying behind Bobi Wine, and therefore they kick out to Besigye so that he becomes a flag bearer.
I think it shall be a very good story to watch when a picture, I'm thinking about a picture when Besigye decides to leave, you know, to let Bobi Wine or to front Bobi Wine as a presidential candidate. Yet he failed to give to Muntu at any point in all the years of struggles they've been together.
Yeah, but also
yes, Mr. Ali.
Before Jole comes in, will the, in case the Bobi Wine succeeds in making an alliance, but will they succeed? One, I don't see them succeeding. One, who appoints the electoral commission, which is going to conduct these elections? Then two, the President Museveni has the incumbency, that advantage. He has access to state resources.
Machinery.
Oh, we are seeing even the factions at the ground here. There's the FDC faction of Mbajukatika and Centenary on one side, and that faction of Saulo Mate, the chairperson, and Inzo on the other side. So unless these people put their houses in order, I don't see them.
Like two. They are permanent to get someone.
Yes, sir, I'm done. Yeah, in the next 20 minutes we shall link up, sir.
You start from this is a man. Mr. Ali makes a point and says, no wonder FDC's house is not in order right now. But our viewer, I promise you I'll have a one-on-one with Robert Centenary, the MP Kasese Municipality, probably next week, and that will be probably our Wednesday or our Wednesday upload. Just subscribe to our channel, K-Vision TV on YouTube, and of course like our page on K-Vision TV on Facebook, so that you never miss any of uploads. Mr. Ali says it is not easy to let your employer fail or to let down your employer. So the president appoints the electoral commission, and then they would really rather never consider letting him down. Thank you so much for being part of this show. Remember to smash a like on this video, and of course leave your comment in the comment section, and of course click on the notification button so that you should never miss any of our uploads. Special salute to YBD Fashions. Thanks for being part of the show. CEO Hot Fashion, his name is Kelvis. You guys are whoa. Denise from Dubai, King Promotions. Thanks for being part of the show. We meet till next upload. Goodbye.